We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Through the unknown remembered gate, when the last of Earth left to discover...
All right, Andrew. So why did you want us here today?
Catch up, because I haven't seen Davey for, I told him last time I saw you. You didn't see me.
But you saw me.
I saw him.
That's usually how it goes with some people.
I was at Sheets, and this man was on a mission. He had food in his hand. I don't know what it was. I think it was probably a sub.
How long ago was it?
A couple months ago.
Was it a Saturday morning? Or, I don't know.
It was during the week.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Could have
but
been work or something.
he was moving. I was putting gas in my car. I'm like, so I press the thing, lock it so it can just fill my tank up, and I'm starting to go, and then this dude, I'm like, Davey, and then he's already in his car and left, and it's like, dude, and I stood there like, no.
See, the funniest part of the story would have been like in retrospect if it actually was someone else.
It
and
was
him.
him.
And that's why he didn't respond.
It was him. You know why? Because the frosted tips.
For
They
everybody,
were frosted.
For everybody
like,
who's
really
listening,
frosted.
he has frosted tips.
Well, I mean, I have blonde highlights at the top of my hair. I started doing a haircut where I just shave my sides off and I put like a freak. Like,
I didn't say anything about it. It's
like I do a 2 on the sides.
You can
and
do what you want, man.
No,
I'm just trying to for a bit. There's times where it's like, I gotta stop this, and then next one's like, yep, we're going back.
Yeah.
Call up my.
I mean, the great thing
hairstylist.
with hair is if you do something, it always grows back. So
or you
yeah.
could just shave it all off.
If I didn't, if my work would allow like piercings and stuff, I probably would have a nose ring. But I don't know.
So what else do you do? Like, because you said you did the podcast, but like, what else do you do? Just the podcast?
Just our podcast and then my job up at Gallagher's. I saw you walking in with one of our teas, so thanks for your support. So.
Is it all bad up there? Or like, what exactly do you do?
As I'm sitting over here drinking Arizona.
It's good though. But I fill up the cartons. You know those cartons we got up there?
Yeah, he was telling me, and I'm like, oh shit. And I didn't realize that you were on the podcast, and I didn't realize he had no idea who you were.
What? No, I knew who he was.
Yeah, we knew each other from MTV.
thought you
Like my
guys
senior
did-
year. It's fun.
Yeah.
I wish I was in all my freaking years, but I mean, like, literally, I tried my freshman year to get in there, couldn't get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Tried my sophomore year, didn't get in there. Junior year, didn't get in there. Senior year, finally got in. Luckily, I was there for 2 semesters. So I know sometimes you can only do one, then they kick your ass out, but no.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was in there for a while.
I think I was also in there for 2, and it was because Spangler wanted me to come back in. But yeah, I think that was my 8th grade year that I was in there with you. Because
That was your freshman year, I think.
Was it?
Because we were.
Okay.
Because I was a senior year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, Spec was great.
Yeah, because that was whenever
He sent
Caleb
you
was
me
still
all the
editing.
time.
That's right, because Caleb was editing it in the in my 9th grade year, and then whenever I was a sophomore, that was whenever I kind of.
It was like half. He would edit, and sometimes I would end up editing it. So.
Yeah.
I didn't edit. I just stayed away from that section because everybody who did that looked like they hated themselves, wanted to hurl themselves.
Oh,
off
I liked
the
it.
alley. It was so bad.
This is why it's like half the first year when I did it was always me and him, and
Yeah.
then like he actually had us take off for a week, and even during that week we were still doing it.
Yeah.
Oh my
And then like the second semester came, I was like, yeah, we're gonna get new people, so
Spangler was so like relaxed though. I loved his class.
yeah.
I still see him every now and again. He's
Really?
he's just a cool dude. Like I like him. I mean, no, that class really was a good experience. I mean, at least on my part, because I really like took on way more editing than I think he even expected. I mean, because like the second time I was in that class, whenever I basically was like doing everything other than like some of the news. I mean, I would go home like every day and I would just like edit it for like 2 hours or something, just because I enjoyed doing it. Like,
That's what I do.
yeah. I mean, because like I knew no one really liked watching it, so I would just do. That's why like my
You
style.
do simple stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's why my style of RAM too. No, I wouldn't. Like that would be the thing. I did kind of start doing that near the end, just because I started getting busy with other things. But I mean, my style with it was always like, I just enjoyed doing it, so I would. But I kind of started doing it where like all of the commercials and stuff I would do would always have some like really loud noise at some point in it, because I'd try to like force people to pay attention to it. Yeah, and I didn't think about that until recently actually, because I made another commercial like just a month ago for one of them. It was really funny. They reached out and were like, "Hey, can you do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I did the same thing where I like blasted the Star Wars music at the start of the.
Yeah, some of those were like, I didn't realize because I knew you were part of it, but I didn't realize you did as much.
Yeah.
And then there's my ass who was actually on the team.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's
why. It's
terrible.
because I don't enjoy being in front of the camera. That was always my least favorite part because
I hated it, but they needed people, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I'll do it I do it once during the week, and then for the rest of the week it's a study hall, and I went to.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, you're more cameragenic though, so it makes sense. Like, I just don't enjoy being in front of. I mean, like, even if you don't enjoy it, like, it's just something you're better at doing. Like, I'm not good at being in front of the camera. I'm also not good at like performing anything in general. Like, that was.
Yeah, we figured this out early.
Yeah, that's why I mean with our stuff, I've always tried to stick to like the writing and directing behind the camera sort of stuff, and then even whenever I was doing theater, I never was really like I did a little like tiny little bit of acting, but it was never like I don't know. It's hard for me to get
Put
into the
himself,
role of somebody else. Yeah.
See, like I was telling him last time we were on like the whole because he's talking about all his position and stuff. So like me and him both like doing all this stuff behind the camera and everything. I like to write. I like to sit back and like direct. But like if there's a chance where I get to like sit in front of it and like there's something meaningful that I can pull from it, oh man, I would love to do it. But like it's just finding the right thing. It's finding the right mindset. Like sometimes it's like it's a whole process because I don't want to just do it if I just sound like myself because it's like it's so hard, to like just do it because you hear your own voice.
Mm-hmm.
So if you change it a little bit, you change how you walk, you act, kind of like feel, like presence wise, then I feel like it almost transports you a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why it's always been hard for me to do like even like accents or anything like that because in my like I mean because obviously you hear like your voice inside your head when you talk and then you hear it and then it's completely different from what everyone else hears.
Or going to the accents, it's like you can kind of hear yourself.
Yeah.
With accents.
And that
wonder what this would sound like. Then you try
exactly.
nope.
And I mean that's how mine is because no matter what accent I try to do, it's always like or voice or any sort of extra inflection in my head. I always hear the same thing.
See, here's the thing: like hearing, it's a curse, but it's also a gift when you hear yourself in your voice. When you do like voices, like when I did Kermit and all that. Or you do like accents, like oh yeah, German. You can hear it and you can correct it. So it's like almost guiding you, and it gives you an idea where your tone is and your pitch, so you can place it and kind of figure out how to get more accurate towards that voice. So it's a good thing, bad thing.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it.
I mean, it's kind of like with anything. I mean, in that sort of performative space, I mean, because like with acting, with comedy, anything like that, where you're standing in front of other people pretending to be something either more heightened than yourself or other than yourself.
I mean, hell, podcasting.
Yeah, but the nice thing about podcasting is like
sometimes.
the best thing about
There's
podcasting
times
is
you just sit there. It's like hell, I could be a stand-up comedian because of the stuff
Yeah.
I'm saying.
and then it's completely different because it's like the nice thing. The reason I think good at podcasting and not good at any of that other stuff is because like I can talk to people and be fine, and I just put these microphones in front of but then
it just kind of happens.
But then you forget the microphones are there.
I mean, until you mention them, or you cut out all the funny stuff.
And that's
that
why
I said
yeah.
earlier.
And that's why podcasts you can't really get meta with podcasts because then it breaks the illusion that I think you're trying to create whenever you start a podcast. Like whenever that's why I mean I brought it up today, but normally like if we're already having a conversation and I didn't get to say like, oh okay, we're starting the podcast, I'll just hit record and then just keep talking. Because like the nice thing, at least from the podcasts I like and that I think a lot of people listen to is it feels like there is some sort of structure to it, but that it's just people having conversations.
Well, I mean, it's they're supposed to be a hidden structure, and when you're doing it, like even if there's like you're being big and boisterous, like with like sports stuff, because sports personalities on podcasts.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Even in the beginning of this, you're doing like it comes with, but like when you have something laid back like this, it's more so like we'll joke, we'll do this, but we're getting to the point, and it just depends on the genre and the tone.
And we are pretty much all over the place with that, so it's like we'll be like laid back at the beginning and stuff like that, and we'll, like jump into topics, and it's just like wow, and then we'll just make like random jokes or whatnot.
Yeah.
So.
Just waiting to get canceled at some point.
I mean, that's also why
I'm shocked we even we started May 20th. I'm shocked it's February 5th right now, so I'm shocked we're even still here for this long. But
I mean, and that's why it's nice. That's why I was like kind of excited to do this, where it's like it is like going on my podcast, but it was more your idea to do this specific episode because then like talking about that kind of like more meta structure above like what's happening in a podcast conversation. It's like we're just having a normal conversation between us three, but like and I'm going to to talk, just like I would in any other conversation, but because I have the idea of like, okay, we're doing this podcast, like sometimes I throw in little things to like try to lead the conversation in a specific way.
He asked me like one question when we were doing, because I started topics, I start topics,
Yeah.
So he just lets me go, and then he asked me the one question, and it was about acting, and that was the only question. That was the whole big joke of the fuck.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh my god.
Well,
So how do you feel like? What
I don't remember what I asked.
What ropes you into acting? Like why do you have to play the characters like when you write certain ones?
I was just one freaking because I used to work at I used to work as a writer for like doing Tomahawk games and everything and stuff like that until I got an internship down there. And my writing boss, he's also a screenwriter. And one time we all went out to dinner, me and my old coworker who was a photographer. We were sitting there and he goes, "I'm doing this short film. You can be an actor in it, and you can take photos." And that was like back in 2021, so that was almost 4 years ago. It still hasn't happened. I'm still waiting for it to happen.
Oh, it didn't happen yet?
I have the script and everything. Like I'm ready to go. Like what are we doing?
So that's the funny thing about being an like amateur filmmaker. Time is just it's a difficult thing.
I
to
mean,
manage.
I get that, and I do get that too because I mean, I always ask him like, "Hey, how are we looking? How are we looking?" He's like, yeah. Then
Is
he
it just
brought
like more of a funding thing? Like he can't get the money for it, or
scheduling?
It's just trying to find schedule.
Yeah,
I
that
feel like
makes
trying to
sense.
find places to go because I mean, he brought up some maybe here. We could end up in Atlanta. Like we don't know. You know what I mean?
what kind of genre is he going for with it? Like, what is he?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I forget.
Oh, okay.
You have the script.
I haven't read that in a while.
It's been 4 years.
It might get made at some point, so we probably don't want to
I mean, it takes
spread
place
too much.
It's like an old school, Back to the Future type of dance party.
Oh,
and
that's
of
interesting.
and of course, how the person I was back in high school with my cringy ass raps. Of course, I am a fucking DJ. So.
Not the self hate. No, we were supposed to do a collaboration at one point. That never happened.
Oh boy, I didn't know about
I didn't
this.
even know this was it. Oh wait, yeah, now I do. Okay. I told you.
And you know what the funny part is? We're still a band. Me and him. Sort of. We're trying to figure it out. And then she jumps in sometimes. She gave me a word.
For those
Yeah,
for the people who are
there's not
listening,
three
there's
of us. Not three of us.
there's only 3 of us in this
We're
room. Andrew pointing
multiplying.
to the wall.
Yes.
I'm talking to the Jay Leno fly.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking to the Jay Leno fly.
Congrats
No.
on y'all's engagement, by the way.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Oh, you're going to throw it in the podcast? So he doesn't get canceled. Be like, listen, the one good thing I did on a podcast.
Yes. You guys
This is
you guys can look back and think about this. I ain't that much of an asshole.
whenever they bring up the case of
Jamie,
of
bring up the
canceling.
tape.
Yes.
No. The whole.
Whenever they're gonna cancel R&D online,
You're gonna cancel that, but wait, did you not hear this on
You're gonna
another
pull up this
podcast
one
I
clip
saw?
and be like, look, I'm a nice person.
I'll donate all my money to charity. Come on now.
The whole trial of him getting like convicted is just Joe Rogan. Jamie, pull up the tape. No, I didn't say that. Oh wait, he actually is a good guy. He has a heart. All right, someone get him a blunt. He'll be fine.
Yeah. At this point, I would need one.
No,
I'm sitting here in court with a freaking. If I'm sitting here in court and
with Joe Rogan and Jamie, and
Yes.
those are the
So
people
is-
that are.
and
is
we're
he-
trying to cancel me.
Are you implying that Rogan is the judge, or is he like the?
He's the judge.
That would be a scary.
Joe Rogan-
Jamie's the
Oh,
executioner.
If Joe Rogan is my judge, I could be fine with that. we're good.
Yeah, you
It's
might
like,
be able
dude,
to get. You
it's
might be
like-
able to get out of that one.
Convict me.
Because we have so much stuff in
I
common.
mean,
It's like,
they tried to cancel him, so I think he'd
it's
understand.
like, hey, come on. I watch you on UFC all the time. I'm like, come on. I know you guys. I know you do that stuff. Come on now.
You're my brother. Secretly,
That freaking pizza you tried. Oh my god, man.
Joe. Secretly,
I love
I'm your half brother.
pineapple pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I tried that. No, the pineapple anchovy pizza.
It's not bad.
I did. It's
Yeah.
alright, but I
It's-
gotta be in the mood for it.
Yeah, it's like an interesting sort of like the one I had. I forget if it was from Domino's or Papa John's. I mean, neither of those are probably the right way to eat pineapple pizza, but like I don't know. It's kind of like that.
I
Like,
got mine out of Papa John's.
yeah, it's like
Alright,
that slight citrusy kind of like
You-
warm
yeah.
citrusy. I don't know.
Like,
Listen, I can't do pineapple pizza, man.
Have you tried it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
you don't like it.
I don't like.
I mean,
See,
hey,
see, at the
if
begin-
you've
at the-
tried it, it doesn't matter
at
if you
the
don't
beginning,
like
I
it. Like,
liked
you cannot like something.
At the beginning, I liked.
Like
it,
we're
but
not.
then
I'm
it
not
was
trying to
like-
like to make you feel
It's
bad for
just-
not liking
well,
something I like.
I don't understand. I just don't understand why it's a big popular thing. Because
So-
it's just like
Like at the
I
beginning, I
understand
liked
the
it.
flavor palette.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I liked it, and then I had a little slide of like no, and then I'm like, you know what?
It's
Put
like,
it on me.
It's
I,
like
I think what happened with pineapple pizza was like it was just one of those like some people liked it because they actually liked it, and then it became like a joke.
it was
where-
probably like a pregnancy snack
And then,
or
like, it
something, or
caught
something
on.
like.
No, because
You
I
know
think
what I'm
it's
saying? Doesn't it make sense?
I think it's
does,
I think
does.
it's like a Hawaiian, like it's more of like a Hawaiian thing. I think once it became like a thing where people would joke like, "Oh, you like pineapple pizza," then it was like then people started to like it kind of just to like something that people made fun of.
Like the only it makes me think of like if you're ever making like spaghetti and like you get like the sauces and everything, and sometimes people put sugar in it. It's
Mhm.
like just a little sweet. That's what I think about. But then like the anchovies, that would be interesting, the sweet and the salty.
Well, me and
Yeah,
Riley
it
tried.
kind of-
Well, when I tried it first, it was with me and Riley, and then he's just like, no.
No, anchovies are pretty good. Like I can do that separate. I could do sardines.
Yeah, see,
separate.
Yeah.
sardines and anchovies. The problem with them is the smell. Like I can eat a lot of foods, but like I don't know. There's something about like cracking open sardines.
Listen, I
Okay.
want to see the whole little fish in there.
Yeah. Is like the bone and everything still in there, or do they like take it out?
No, they should. I'm pretty sure they take it out.
Okay.
Some of
They
the
should.
some of the bone is still in there because it's so small and so delicate. So like you can eat it and you won't choke on it.
Yeah. There's some foods like that where it's like I think that people like I don't understand why people like sardines and things like that, but I think the reason they came into being popular was because they're so small and easy to catch that you can like if you have a net like that would catch maybe say like 100 fish, you could catch like tons of sardines. So then in a time where it's like because if I remember right, I think sardines became popular during like World War II time, and so it would have been like
My first experience with that was like whenever.
and then so people convince themselves that they like it because they have to like it because they
well,
need to
my
survive.
My first experience with that was like whenever me and my family would always go to Pappy's and my
Pappy's pizza.
my blood pap. Well, he wasn't my blood, but I considered
His
him
blood
my
pap from Pappy's.
Yeah, literally. I considered him my pap, but he wasn't my blood. He would always get a side of sardines, and that's where I also got into crushed red peppers because of him.
Yeah.
So I tried it. I'm like, it's actually not bad.
Yeah,
But I
crushed
gotta
red
be in the
peppers are
mood.
good.
I'm very picky with those because I like to be able to taste.
Yeah.
Because like if it's too much and you get too much like too much crushed red pepper on your tongue, it's like, oh my god, why am I eating this? Like you could like you sound like this and you can't even eat the pizza. You sound like Mike Tyson.
Oh, talking about Mike Tyson.
Wow.
Talking about Mike Tyson, I was listening back to our podcast like a couple weeks ago, and we brought up the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight,
Oh my god.
Yeah, we all know who that was. how
and
that
it
went.
and it was so funny because in that podcast we were talking about like that was still back when people
That was
thought
his
that it
son
might be
interviewing
legit,
him.
and then like we still thought it might be legit, and then like we watched it and no one thinks that like there's no possible way at all.
My brother went on a rant for about a week and a half about this.
Wow.
Your brother's an interesting guy, I have to say.
Oh yeah.
Who was your brother again?
You don't remember Alex?
I think I might have. but
Really
it's-
short temper, kind of had big head.
I mean, I might have remembered. It's been a
Big
while,
head.
but
Like
yeah.
in the most respectful way.
I mean, I know your sister.
Oh yeah. Well, she's in Idaho
What the fuck's she doing over there?
making potatoes.
She's in college.
she's in
Wow.
college because she's a geologist.
University of Idaho?
Oh what?
What, the University of Idaho? Is that where she's
I
at? or-
think I don't know. Cause she
Yeah, how
went
many
to-
You know what's
Universities-
funny? I
Like
just
how-
got an email from them not that long ago, like, hey, sign up.
Like how many universities are in Idaho for one to go to? I mean,
The only
feel
one
like-
I know
They
is
have
University
one,
of Idaho.
and then
Yeah.
all the other schools are for like making potatoes.
Like,
It's just a farm. Like,
I
the
gotta-
school's actually just a farm.
what? So what? Does she tell the University of Idaho to send me emails or something? So like,
That's probably what it is.
It's the
yeah.
universe manifest.
They got one person from Johnstown to go to the university,
like,
so now,
get the
now
other
they're getting
guy.
every like uncollege student in Johnstown to try to
See
join.
if I can find. Jamie, pull it up.
Man, I would have plugged in the.
Find. No, but like she's up
God.
there. She's doing geology and all that stuff, and she's so like she's an environment person. So like, Alex is a little short tempered. He's kind of like a construction dude.
Yeah.
He just finally got his transmission for his truck, so he can get that thing out of the damn yard.
Is that truck even gonna work whenever he get like it's been
Probably no.
it's
The
been
whole
sitting
front-
it's
the
been
whole
sitting in the
front is
snow for
gone.
months.
There's
like,
no grill. There's no engine. Everything is like the whole engine bay is exposed.
yeah, every time I come, I'm like they are never
There's
going
less
to be
and
able to get
less
this thing to
coming off
work.
of it every time he comes over, and like there's just gonna be wheels on the ground next time he comes over. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was a bad investment.
I mean, it's interesting with college though. Like that feels like I feel like it's going to be within the next like 10
It's
or
gonna
20
change.
years that something is going to happen with the college. Just like it can't keep going the way that it has been going, because there's so many things now that you can do that don't require getting a degree, or that like you could have a degree but like you don't need one, or just people coming to terms with like, hey, maybe I don't want to go into this much debt for something that like isn't going to really pay off.
Yeah, because if you look back at like the history of stuff, like a lot of people didn't go to college
Yeah,
back then.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's been
my
college.
gram did.
Yeah, and I mean, there's been colleges since like 1000, but like people, it's not like that was a common like that.
It wasn't like a
That wasn't the
priority.
thing that you needed to do, and then for some reason, I mean, there's probably some sort of like, if you really dig into it, there's a
It was a
reason why
societal
college became
like,
so big.
evolution
Yeah.
where they're thinking.
I
like,
mean, I think
okay,
once it became the norm for everybody to graduate high school, and now it's like not the norm for you not to graduate high school, then that started to change the maturation rate of people. So like they weren't like mentally being forced to kind of like become an adult quite as quickly, because like if you're dropping out of school at like in 8th grade because you need to help your family do whatever they need to do.
Yeah, we don't have a Great Depression.
Yeah, you kind of need to become like, oh, I'm 18 now, even though I'm only like 12. But it's like now, because I feel like a lot of people, and a lot of like even cultural critics say this about college now, college for most people has just become a way to prolong having to become like an adult, because you're staying in school.
That's what I've noticed. Like
Yeah.
a lot of college kids that like I've met that, they're in college and they're working. They're great people. They're like they're all great people, but like they have a better like head on their shoulders. But then you meet the ones that are just like going to like party, going to sort of doing their classes. They want to advance, but they're sort of partying. I'm not calling anybody out, but like, they're just kind of just floating around, and it's like, why did you get the degree?
Yeah.
But then you got people that like, yeah, they do party, but they're there to work.
Yep. I'm just gonna okay, fine.
But like, it's okay. I understand. Like, there's gonna be that group that wants to party. There's gonna be like, but then you can't take away from all that. And the biggest thing is like, why do we need a degree for everything anymore?
Yeah.
Why, like, because this make it harder for like people like me. Like, you're trying to find shit, and you need a degree for this when it could just be a certification. Because it's like
Like really, like nowadays you don't really even need.
you don't need to go
Yeah,
to
I mean,
school to
because
be a
Like there's
manager.
guys like broadcast and stuff like I'm trying to get in like you don't even need to go to college for it. Like
Yeah.
if you have the smarts and you have the brains for it, you can get in if you freaking know something.
Yeah.
Like, should be an apprenticeship or something like that.
I mean, because just experience by
Internship,
itself. I mean, but like you said, there's certification. I mean, there's so many things that you can do.
There's so many ways you
even
can
just
change
being
it.
willing. Like, I feel like if more jobs were willing to take like I don't know, a 3-month gamble on somebody. I mean, because within 3 months, I think you can mostly kind of see who this person is.
Oh,
If more places were willing to take a 3-month gamble on somebody, I think we would see a lot less
but
importance of
everybody's so
college.
selfish.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think
companies are
I
too.
think what college has become too is whenever you look at like a lot of things that people are going to, and a lot of like the most expensive like debt-ridden degrees is a lot of things in like the arts and the humanities, which is completely fine. But then what's sort of happening is what that leads to is you get a degree in, let's say, I mean, you can get a degree even like in Shakespeare studies. So let's just use that for example.
You're never gonna use
Yeah,
it.
so you get a degree in Shakespeare studies. All right, perfect. You get a master's. What are you going to do with that? So it's like you can either.
Why would you get them? Like, okay, that's
I mean,
see
we
that
have-
there's a problem right there.
We
Why
got
would-
people that work at my company, Gallagher's, that have scholarships. It's like
Yeah.
they still don't even know what they're doing.
Exactly, and then
See,
so like
that's the
what my point with that is it's like there's only so many places that like a degree in like that kind of arts field is going to take you. So it's either going to make you into like some sort of tutor to people, or you're just gonna have to go work somewhere else.
It's
That
like, oh,
is
it's
no way involved with your degree. So like you could go work at Gallagher's because you just need to pay,
It's
or
just like, oh, you got your degree. For what?
yeah.
And then they tell you, it's like,
Yeah, why
well,
the-
what are
it's-
you doing here
Like
then?
why did you choose that? Like that's just
It's
a
a
hobby.
whole-
You got a degree for a hobby.
It's a whole maturity thing that
Yeah.
goes back into that. Like, why would you choose that as your master's when you know that that's not going to
This
do
is why
anything?
it's like I took 2 years of a year and a half of online school,
Mhm.
and then I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. Like there's my work getting in the way. There's other stuff getting in the way. It's like I don't have time, so it's like I'm done for now. If I go back, I go back, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
See, like that's another big thing is like jobs are like I've noticed like a couple like college kids they're struggling to do both. Like hell, even my dad, and I don't know how he had the time to live and do all this crap, but he was in college for about 3-4 months. He was living in Pittsburgh, and he was working like 2 or 3 jobs just to get by, and he was doing school. Like it's still been like this.
That's a lot. That just puts a lot on your body, and it's just.
And he had to quit, and he couldn't do it. He had to move back to his parents, and then, but like he was there for like a month.
I mean, 2 or 3. I mean, I had to debate getting 2 jobs just to get by.
But like with everything on its, hopefully everything swings the other way. But that we do need a change in the collegiate area, even in the work field with that.
Yeah.
Because instead of like you could go from further training in the company. They can literally do that. And if they have certifications, then they get certain perks because they're certifying and training people.
Yeah.
Which people don't think about either, and the companies don't think about either.
I mean, there really is a lost, I think, wisdom to the like school of apprenticeship, which is what they used to do. I mean, because it didn't matter what you were. It's like, okay, you want to do business, you become an apprentice to a business owner. You want to do you want to be a captain on a ship, you become an apprentice to a sea captain. Like that was back in that. Well, that's back in that day. I don't mean anymore, but like in these days, I mean, you can still be an apprentice to a
intern.
Yeah, like be an intern, be an apprentice to a CEO, be it like even with artists, like that was what that was back in the day. Like if you wanted to become an artist, you could turn that into a job because people nowadays, all the way back from whenever the Renaissance happened, have always wanted that. So you became an apprentice to someone who already did it.
I find it hilarious that they've been trying so long to make doing art a job, and it's still difficult.
Yeah, but I mean, when you think about it, it actually used to be a really like credible job to become.
No,
I mean,
it's not.
And the reason why it was because of the school, because there was apprentices, so they knew if you were coming to like a castle or something and saying, "Hey, I'm an artist," they knew that that you could paint their Sistine Chapel because that meant that you spent like the first 25 years of your life underneath a master learning all of his stuff.
Just imagine going up to a castle. Like you knock on the drawbridge or something. Hail thee! I am your artist. Blow the horns! The artist has arrived.
But I mean, yeah, you had people like Michelangelo, who I mean, he was a sculptor, but I mean, he was making his living. Yeah, and Donatello, and what are the other ones?
They're
Raphael.
All friends in half shells or something. Probably.
But I mean, you had someone like him where it's like he was doing all those like amazing sculptures more for like the display of it, but then he was also getting commissioned by people to do work for him. And
I don't know, but like if you look at like the society switched in the way they look at art and how contemporary it can be now, anything can fucking be art. That is a faulty. I don't care who you are, however prestigious you are, but like art, like there's a specific thing. Okay, and for the evolution, you have to be contemporary for certain things, but you cannot make a trash can art. You cannot make taking ink and just throwing it at a canvas unless there's paint. Like there has to be paint. There has to be physical action from you and some sort of emotion. Not I'm gonna draw a smiley face.
That's why my freaking ex. She's like, we went to go buy a trash can for college at Always, and then she goes home one day, and all of a sudden she's posting on her group chat at the time like, "Hey, look what I did." Shit, all right.
Now we're in the time too where I mean, like there was that that artwork a couple months ago that was like someone duct taped a banana, I think it was, to a wall, and it got sold for like $6 million or something like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, come on now.
That guy was sitting back there like retards.
Yes, he got a $6 million check from one of them.
If it gets you by, there you go.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there is to that there is something where it's like if you're talking about how college has sort of become this thing where like you do it sort of to perpetuate this kind of useless system. So it's like if you're getting these degrees, sometimes you're getting a degree literally to become like just a college professor to get more people useless degrees. So it's like you kind of close the loop in this case. Yeah. And I mean with that too, with art, there is no appreciation really anymore in our culture because we've kind of gotten to that like modern state of like not appreciating like what it is that the world and like human emotion actually has to offer us. So now it's like we've kind of made it where anything can be anything. Like there's no more symbols anymore. Everything kind of becomes whatever is in the eye of who wants to make it something. But all right, Andrew. So do you have anywhere else you wanted to take this episode?
I don't know.
Didn't you want to like ask him anything about music? You said.
Yeah. Are you still doing like what's like? You're probably not rapping, but are you doing anything like
I'm not recording, but I mean, sometimes I write from here to there. Still, like if I think of something that's like catchy or whatever, I'll put it in my notes. But I haven't recorded in a while. So.
Do you do any like the? Do you play any instruments or anything? Or
I'm learning guitar. I'm learning piano. But
man, you're.
I mean, growing up, I used to play drums a lot, but just me and my voice in the car.
We've always needed a drummer. No, seriously, we've been struggled trying to find a drummer.
Well, it's kind of been like we either need a guitarist or a bassist or a drummer, because without Brett, like
Brett,
you know, Brett played guitar and I played the drums, but it's like with no Brett, I can't play guitar as well as he did, but like we're not going to just be a drum and vocal band.
No, but like that's something we still do, and we're still working on whatever our project is, because we have a general idea, because we want to actually put the work in and do an album.
Yeah.
And ours is like, what was it? Do you remember what it was?
The name of the album or what?
Yeah, it was a day in the life or something.
It wasn't that specifically, just because that's a Beatles song, but it's in my phone. It's
something.
It's in my phone somewhere. I'd have to look.
But like
it's
supposed to be like
You just need chemistry.
this. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be like a span of like our lives and like specific moments and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I think maybe to pull that through, I mean, it's kind of like what our problem with making short films has been, and just films in general, is like,
we do too.
You know, because the normal kind of prescription that people give for that sort of thing is like you start small and build from there, but ours has always kind of been like we already knew what we wanted to do at the end, and like just didn't want to do like the smaller stuff to build up to it. But because of that, we haven't really like, you know, built a group along the way to do it. So it's like with the music, because it's the same with the film, but with the music, it's like, okay, we know what we want to do, but like you don't play instruments, and like I'm pretty decent at like a couple instruments, but not like good enough to actually do all of them. So it's like,
so we can do everything, but
and it's the same with our short films, where it's like you can act and I can do the behind the camera, but like we can't just put a camera on you and have like every short film just be you talking to yourself.
No, we could
like,
do a comedy where we like splice it together.
As the podcast host right now, I think what I need to do is moderate this debate where you can finally convince him that there's good things about rap.
No.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let me just take you to a concert. You'll be alright.
I hate rap. I'm very picky. I like the older rap.
Yeah, I get it.
Like it just feels more authentic.
Yeah.
But the big thing I love about Nine Inch Nails is like, oh my god, they're great. They ushered in industrial music. But what they also did with the synthesizers and all that crap and the sound biting, they introduced rap. They created the monster.
See, I'm like all over the place. Like I like stuff like that. I like rap. I mean, hell, there's different genres that you don't even think of that I listen to. Like, I mean, I'm all over the place. I'm really not picky with like what kind of music I like more.
He likes Wakandan drum music.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, like
I'll go listening to this, and then or jump into this. I'll go from a really sad song like, it's a song where
I mean, that's how I feel too, because I mean, really I feel like with music, if people are going to kind of say like, oh, this is the one hill like I'm willing to stand on, it's like you're missing kind of what music as a whole is trying to convey to people, which is that there's different modes of like expressing the ideas and emotions that you have. I mean, because like some people's way of expressing their emotion is like through music would be a classical like sonata or something like that, and so that hits people, you know, who are in that position. Other people's way of doing it is like classic rock. Like classic rock is a way of doing that, because when you really listen to, like, if you were to break, like, whenever you break down music, especially to like just an instrumental, a lot of it sounds very similar. So like really all it is like the different tonalities of how you're playing that music, because like when you put classic rock on a piano, it sounds a lot like, you know, Beethoven or something like that, and it's because all that it is it's this large language that's worldwide that people are kind of contributing to.
Yeah, for me, a lot of it is if I'm trying to get into music, like, and listen to specific things, it's like what can I do to connect to it emotionally?
Yeah.
Or like what specific thing calls to me in it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I hate musicals.
Mm-hmm.
We just watched Mufasa. What the hell is it? There's the one song in it. The bad guy does Kiros Bye Bye.
You picked the weird. You like why? I don't know. Have you
it's so funny. You picked the weirdest song.
I always do.
It was a good movie. Like, it was a good song, but I just think it's funny that was the one you picked out of that.
The reason I liked it is because it wasn't just a song; it was the acting in it. There was layers.
Like I was the same. I am the same way.
Like
Sometimes, like you guys watch Bohemian. Have you guys ever watch Bohemian Rhapsody?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You watched Rocket Man?
I didn't watch Rocket
Rocket
Man.
Man
I
was
watched-
actually very good.
I only
Rocket Man
watched
was
Rocket Man.
alright, but I think I like Bohemian Rhapsody more because Rocket Man's like it's more like a musical-ish type of.
I'm not a big musical guy, but
neither
like
am
I liked it. I liked.
I need to
Terry
go see that
Harrison.
freaking Bob Dylan movie.
Oh my god,
I need to go see that.
I haven't gone. Did you ever watch Walk the Line?
No.
The Johnny Cash biopic with Joaquin Phoenix, the guy who played Joker. Watch that because the guy who's doing the Bob Dylan one, he's doing that one as well.
Is it the same guy?
Same guy. He also did Logan,
Mm.
James Mangold, and he also did Indiana Jones: Dawn of Destiny. We don't talk about that. That wasn't his fault.
Such a random.
That's not his fault. That was Disney's fault. But like, he's a great director. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if like Timmy gets like Timothy gets an
Timothy.
Oscar. Timothy. No, you know why I think they didn't include Dune 2 in like their Oscar run? It's because Timmy would have got 2 nominations for 2 different movies. That's why. That's my big thing, and I saw Josh Brolin got so pissed about it.
That it wasn't in the.
Yeah,
I actually.
it should have been.
Yeah, I did hear about that. That is really weird that it wasn't.
Like the last one.
Yeah, wasn't Dune 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It won. I think it won a couple things too.
I mean, I'm sure it did.
I think it was soundtrack and cinematography.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, the sound of Dune 1 was
Costume
amazing.
design, like the soundtrack was amazing. The second one was still really, really, really good.
Yeah.
But they're doing a third one,
Well, I mean, they kind of have to at this point.
and then ready, without Denny, they're gonna continue to do them. To where Paul turns into a worm.
I
of all
don't think
things.
they're going to do that.
They're gonna change that.
I mean, they have to change that. They've kind of been forced to already from like the things that he changed at the end of Dune.
Well, see the way he set it up, like even if he would continue, and I would be very interested to see how he would change that because the story that goes on is very good. It's just the context of like the fact that Paul's a worm, transforming into a worm.
Yeah, it's also a bit hard to like cast someone
He's a
like Timothy
worm.
Chalamet and then be like,
To
"Hey
be a
guys, look,
worm.
he's a worm now.
To be a worm,
He's a worm.
Yeah.
I can't do it. No,
He's a worm."
no, but like the Bob Dylan one does. Like, do you listen to Bob Dylan at all, or?
Yeah.
He was he's a teeny little influence on like my lyrics and stuff.
I love Bob. Like early Bob Dylan is one of my favorites. Yeah,
I have a
he's
vinyl
great.
and I love it.
He's definitely someone who like, I mean, I think back to the point on art, it's really interesting with him because like he is probably one of the greatest lyricists musically, but like musically it's hard for that's why it's hard for people to get on to what he's doing because like musically I don't think a lot of people like there's a lot of people who it's hard for them to get behind his voice and a lot of people who it's hard for him to get behind and it's like some people just make like they look at that they look at that and they instantly use that to devalue who he is and it's like you just have to look past that. Yeah, Bob Dylan is like it is interesting with him because he like I think if he were just like a regular poet and didn't write the music he definitely would have I don't know I think in a way he probably would have gotten a lot bigger, but
You gotta keep him happy somehow.
Subway.
Yes.
Eat fresh. No, but like Dylan, he's always been like a interesting.
Bob Dylan.
Eat fresh. Anyways, Bob Dylan, man.
Bob Dylan was great. Give me my damn wallet.
Toss it over here. Oh, okay.
Last time we pickpocketed him, and it was hilarious.
What?
Yeah, we stole Caleb's wallet. Yeah, for the viewers at home, my fiance and me, we stole Caleb's wallet, and we were doing this podcast, or we were doing something for about like an hour and a half, and he did not realize his wallet was gone.
Wait, did I realize you gave it back?
No.
Oh wow.
Wait, hold on. Hold on a
You're
second.
gonna-
Was this when we went to go watch the movie?
Did he know we gave it
Jerry.
Oh no, he did know we gave it back. I thought we were cool enough to be like, yeah.
Was this when we went to go watch the movies?
This was a while ago.
Huh.
We were doing the music and stuff. She
Oh,
stole it, and she's like, "Where's the wallet?"
Oh, I think I actually do remember you.
How
Yeah.
often you guys do the music and the short films and stuff?
We haven't done the music has been more recent, but the short films has really just been us
Off and on.
like working on actually finishing something.
But here's the thing: we start doing a short film, and we want to do an actual film. and
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
that's kind of that's kind of what I was talking about like trying to jump the gun all the
So you gotta
time.
find a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
See, I feel like we can write all those ones.
Well, then we find people like
You know who I mean. I'm not going to drop names on the podcast. No, that's not who I meant. Anyways, like we do find people who like actually are more integrated into actual like making of the short films like in the industry, and they express interest, and then it's like, you know, just because of schedules and everything, you know, there can be long periods of time of not hearing back from those people, and then it's like, okay, are they interested? Are they, you know, just busy?
It's a hard industry to navigate.
Yeah, I mean, because it really like I really feel like the thing with art nowadays in any sort of medium is like it's a waiting game forever.
No, it's
and
not
then
a
once
waiting
you
game.
get it, you have to hold on to it, or else it's getting dropped.
There's a gatekeeper, and we can't ever get the fuck in.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a waiting
like
game.
You gotta get lucky.
Yeah, you kind of have to wait for the gatekeeper to fall asleep, and then you just kind of sneak into the castle.
And then go through.
And then once you're inside, no one realizes that you like broke in. They just are like, "Oh, hi, how's it going?"
And then the gatekeeper's trying to look for you, and they're like, "Yeah, whatever."
I honestly that probably is the best analogy for like the art world. Yeah, a gatekeeper, and then he just falls asleep, or
That's
like
a short film right there.
yeah,
We could use the whole.
Yep.
he falls asleep and you get in, and then everyone like doesn't even notice that you're there, and they're like, when they see you, they're like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" Like as if you've always been there.
So what are we doing today, guys?
Because it really is like when you get inside, every artist really just wants to do things with other artists.
Yeah,
But the problem is it's the process of getting there is that, you know, arbitrary gatekeeper.
Yeah, and then the other big thing is like just we live in such a weird time that like there are a lot of like actors that actually want to do the work, but there's a lot of them that don't because all the Marvel movies, yeah, they're good, some of them are bad, but like it's just finding the in between, you know, finding the people that are like kind of they're not gonna phone in their performance or like any collaborators that just they fully want to do it, but you don't find that. Like they want to, but then they just don't want to commit to it.
Yeah.
Or they want to, and then life just gets in the way. But yeah. So I think that's about it.
All right. So before we wrap this up, is there anywhere else you want to take this, Andrew?
Well, I think this adventure has concluded.
Well, since we have three of us here and we all kind of keep ourselves busy with things, do you guys want to like talk about any of your projects before we cut off, just for like the audience?
I mean, every Monday morning, 8 o'clock, R&D podcast, me and Riley talking about stuff that's not going to get us canceled. So,
All sports.
all sports, tune in. R&D podcast, 24 on socials.
Then we got what was it? Isle of Geese.
Oh yeah, we got to keep that quiet. Yeah, you didn't hear nothing.
It's our spin-off.
Yeah, we have a second podcast that we're going to be starting here soon about it's going to be like mostly movie review.
So we could get Davey on there. You know, he's just gonna watch the movie first, do his homework.
Yeah, unlike you, who just
That's
who just reads a synopsis.
Yeah,
I didn't read it.
was
I
gonna
watched.
go-
I did the whole.
Nah,
I've seen
it'll
the
just
movie,
be
but like,
YouTube.
he'll just be like, Sir Gawain, what?
Excuse me.
Who?
Here's the thing.
Here's the deal. No, but I think that the only other things that we'd probably end up doing, like project-wise, maybe we might end up doing a short film. We might get a little group together.
I might have to come back out of retirement for music.
All right.
Because the last time I did it was with my cousin.
Are you doing vocals or what are you doing?
I'll do vocals.
That's my job.
You need
We'll
that.
fight.
Well,
No.
I
Unless you
mean,
want me to break a couple drum sets, then.
We'll figure it out. I mean, because we can obviously mix
Yeah.
back and forth, because that could be something interesting. Yeah. Do something contemporary.
we're gonna go country just like
What about
Beyonce and beat Noah Khan
No,
next
we're gonna
year.
start off in the rap field, and then we're gonna go to pop. And we're just gonna say, screw it, let's go to country.
I could do country. Well, me and my tractor.
Country rap.
Then you just start rapping behind me and my tractor. Well, me and my tractor.
All right,
Breaks down
everybody.
one time.
Thank you for listening. Have a great one.